All right. I welcome you all. Those that are online, innovators that are online on Facebook, SMEs, entrepreneurs. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the AYUTE Africa Challenge information session. My name is Aze Kandiero. I'm the project manager at MHub. So I'll be taking you through a specific presentation, just highlighting on what the challenge is about. I'm sure some of you joined the launch, but for those that did not join and still require more clarity, this is the information session for you. But also for those that are having challenges, whether it's with the web application and etc., this session will help in guiding you in terms of how you can go about it. As you know, this AYUTE challenge is going to end on the 9th in terms of the application phase. But I know maybe some haven't really been able to apply yet because maybe they have specific challenges. I know that for some, the issue was to do with the link. I'll be able to answer that question here. And for any that had any other questions or clarity that was needed, this session is for you. So this session is for an hour, won't take too long, and I'll go straight ahead into the presentation. Firstly, about the AYUTE Africa Challenge, right? So this is a national competition designed to spotlight young entrepreneurs, groups, organizations working in agri-technology. So if you are an entrepreneur, if you have groups or organizations working with agricultural technology, this is a challenge for you. But I'll be able to explain further in terms of what the challenge is looking for, especially for here in Malawi. As we were launching, one of the things that I highlighted is that this is the first challenge in terms of the AYUTE. AYUTE is a challenge that has been implemented in other countries like in Uganda, Ethiopia, Nigeria, and other countries. But for Malawi, this is the first one. Within these challenges, it encourages the development of innovative agri-tech solutions that tackle the everyday issues farmers face across the value chain. From this, you also see that as the AYUTE challenge through HEIFA, they recognize that numerous challenges within the agriculture sector. I'm sure as agripreneurs, you understand that there's really a gap within our sector. So as HEIFA International, it invests to about 1.5 million USD annually to support youth-led innovations across Africa that aim to transform food systems, boost productivity, and also scale these businesses. But in addition to this funding, it also helps participants that go through this to access mentorship and also opportunity to connect their solutions with potential end users, right? So enabling real-world impact. So that is the overall in terms of the AYUTE challenge itself. And this is a challenge that is also going to be implemented here in Malawi as it's been launched. And the expectation is that as a participant, you will be able to access funding if you go through to the last stage. As a participant, access to mentorship, access to coaching, but access to networking and connection. Connect your solutions to end users. So as I move on, please ensure that if you have any questions, my colleagues will be online there on Facebook. They'll be able to compile your questions and share them with me so that I can be able to answer those questions. If there's some that are going directly to HEFA, the colleagues from HEFA are also here. They'll be able to also answer any questions that need answering to you as SMEs. So feel free to ask the questions there. Our colleagues will be able to flag them, and then we'll be able to respond at the end of this presentation. Moving on from this, I've given you the background of what HEFA is about, but just to highlight to you that how this specific challenge has been structured. So as HEFA International is the funding partner, the initiative itself is the AYUTE challenge, but HEFA International Malawi is the funding partner. As MHub, we're coming in as now the implementing partner here in Malawi, where we are the ones now directly ensuring that the activities that need to be done within this challenge are completed. So just to get it straight to say, HEFA International Malawi is the funding partner, providing this access to funding. But as MHub, we're coming in to support as an implementing partner. We now the issues to do with the activity of the call for applications, the activities for selection, and other activities that will be moving forward. We're the ones now implementing while HEFA is supporting us to ensure that what we achieve, what we want to achieve within this challenge. So I think the question should be, why should you apply, or who should apply, right? In the about, I had spoken about the challenge looking for young agripreneurs. So for this challenge, as it highlighted, looking for entrepreneurs aged 18 to 35. So you must be an entrepreneur that is aged there. And even the selection committee will also be looking at that to ensure that the right criteria has been used. So for some, it might say why 18 to 35, but I think as Malawi, that's our criteria of someone being categorized as a youth. And then builders of early stage or growth stage agri-tech companies. So the challenge is also looking for early stage entrepreneurs. Those that have started are below 3 years in existence. They've just started their business model. They have an idea. They are trying to scale that idea to a second extent until maybe they start having market viability. Then growth stage, those that have gone beyond now that idea, they understand their market, but they want to penetrate deeper and find more clients and etc. So those are the two stages that this specific challenge is looking for. And then solutions that are eco-friendly, that are scalable and impactful. So I think in these last couple of years, aspects to do with being climate smart has been something globally, but nationally as Malawi, we're trying to push this specific agenda. And I think this is something as HEFA International, but as also MHub, we also push to say that businesses that are coming out, they should be eco-friendly, being climate smart in your business, and they should also be scalable to say that the businesses should be those that or we know will be able to be scaled, or if they're invested, they'll be able to be scaled in the next maybe year or even months or so, but also impactful. So yes, we're looking at those that are looking at profits, but impactful can also be looking at that you're employing others, impactful that um, you are providing businesses to others, impactful maybe you're providing income to your community through your model itself. So firstly, being eco-friendly, keeping in mind that you need to be climate smart, and then being able to be scalable to say that if you are to be invested, that business should be able to scale within that investment or short period of time. And then being impactful, say that as much as yes, you're making profits, I want to see the impact also on the community itself, right? Impact in terms of creating jobs, impact in terms of maybe the community providing them with business, maybe as suppliers based on your model, and etc. And then moving on from that, innovation should tackle challenges in the agriculture value chain, but not limited to this specific sector. Smallholder farmer productivity, farmer income growth, reducing labor intensity, building farmer resilience, improving access to vital agricultural information, and then access to markets and finance. So it's not limited to this, but these are the specific maybe innovations that this challenge might be looking for, right? Solutions, agri-tech solutions that are helping in productivity, right? Whether you're using drones and etc. How is that increasing their productivity? But how are they even affording to be able to buy that product, right? Farmer income growth to ensure that these farmers are able to now increase whether it's a revenue, whether it's their sales through whatever agri-tech solution they're bringing in. Reducing labor intensity. As we know, most of our smallholder farmers here, most of the stuff is, the activities are done manually. But whatever solution can also be in the aspect to say that you're reducing the labor intensity for these farmers. Then building farmer resilience to ensure whatever solution is bringing in is to ensure that our farmers, our smallholder farmers are sustainable. They're able to produce whatever products within whatever situation or weather or season they are in, right? And then improving access to vital agricultural information. So as you know, in Malawi, access information is also something that is a challenge, but this is also something that is viable to ensure that we're improving the access to vital agricultural information to these farmers. That can be something that is a solution. Then access to markets and also finance. To say that whatever solution that you're bringing in can also be something that is helping smallholder farmers or farmers to be able to access markets, to be able to access finance. And through that, we're ensuring their growth. Moving on from this, I hope you are able to see, but I just wanted us to just discuss on the challenge timeline. In this one, I'm not putting exact dates. However, it will be important for you as an applicant to be able to understand how this process is. Yeah. Apologies. As I said, just to take you through this timeline, will be important for applicants to understand the whole process itself. For transparency, that is a challenge. Some might be saying, why was I not picked? How does the challenge work? And etc. So, for example, as MHub, we developed the communication strategies, and this is how we've come up with the call. We've posted them online. We're doing this information session, and etc. Then from there, the call for application. So this call for application, as we said, we launched it on the 28th. It's now going to have a deadline to up to the 9th of May 2025. So opening the application process for participants, you can be able to apply and etc. And then through this specific application, also having information session. So this is the information session I'm having now, providing information to potential applicants, because there might be challenges that maybe you are facing and you need clarity on. Maybe you are struggling to identify yourself in terms of whether you're early stage or a growth stage, and then also to know whether you qualify in terms of when they say a young entrepreneur. So this is where we are. However, through this as well, as MHub, we had to also identify the selection panel. As we said, we always have an independent selection panel that comes in and be able to select the specific applicants that go through to the next stage. So as of now, what will happen is once this deadline or the application has been closed, we'll be having experts that will be going through your applications. So some from the tech sector, some from the agriculture sector, some from the business sector, some from the challenge itself, AYUTE challenge itself, will be coming in to review all these specific applications. And then from there, they'll be able to now shortlist 20 SMEs, whether you're an organization and etc. And these 20 will go through and the next stage, which is the due diligence stage. So conducting a thorough checks on selected applicants. So those that have been shortlisted will go through thorough checks with the team from MHub, the team from HEFA, the team, other team members will be coming in to now validate what you have been able to write in your application. So we'll be able to whether come to your premises, be able to now inspect based on what you have applied within the challenge, and ask you a few questions. And then from there, based on the evaluations from this team or teams, they'll be able to now submit this to the selection panel again, where they will now be able to now select the final 15 semi-finalists, right? So there will be 15 semi-finalists that will be selected from the due diligence process. And these 15 semi-finalists will go through a virtual workshop. So this virtual workshop will be conducted online, but it will have various sessions that the entrepreneurs will be going through. How to structure their pitch deck, how to structure their business model or refine it, and many other aspects that will be demanded of them. And then from there as well, they'll be going through one-on-one coaching and etc. And then from there, there'll be other aspects in terms of selection for you to go to the next phase of the challenge. Because as I said, these are semi-finalists, which means there's also supposed to be a selection of finalists that will be going to the next stage. And then for us, we do the progress reports in terms of how the project is going, but also highlighting to the media, to everyone else in terms of how we're progressing. And then through all this time and as well, there'll be also the aspect of mentorship, right? Providing guidance to participants. As I said in the beginning about the AYUTE challenge, one of the aspects is also mentorship, to say that as entrepreneurs, being able to access to mentors that understand the sector, right? Maybe those that have already gone ahead of you, they understand about the sector itself, and they can be able to guide. but also other aspects in terms of what you're lacking as an SME, right? Whether it's to do with the aspect of financing, maybe financial management of your business, right? You need someone who can mentor, whether it's you or your team member, to be able to understand how you really manage your finances. Another aspect is to do with maybe leadership, or to do with the aspect of pitching, because one of the aspects that will be coming out here as an entrepreneur is public speaking, where you'll be pitching to a panel or stakeholders to convince them of how you can access this funding, right? So mentorship is also going to be key. Then the next phase will be now the finance coaching. So at the end day, we're expecting that our finalists will be able to host a pitch day event. But before the pitch day event, where they will be able to go there and pitch to a panel, there will be now a specific coaching for them, where we're just helping them refine their pitch ideas, refine whatever is in there. But also the mentors will be able to just help them, prepare and also help them in any other aspect that they need to help them in before the pitch day. Then the final in the timeline is that there's gonna be a pitch day event, where we're hosting the final pitch event, and our finalists, which ideally right now, which means at this stage we'll have maybe five finalists who will be pitching, and this one will be more public, but maybe by invitations, able to pitch to a panel of judges, and there'll be a selection of winners. Moving on from that, I'm sure now most of you are more interested in terms of the grant awards, in terms of how that is broken down. I will highlight it based on how it was explained during the launch. But the good thing is our HEFA colleagues are here. At the end, if there's no clarity on this, they'll be able to come back and be able to explain. However, based on the explanation, is to say that those startups that are at startup stage will be getting up to 2 million. And then innovators that most they are probably at growth stage and etc. At first place, one will be getting about 13 million. At the other second place at 10 million, and then third place at 7. But this is contingent and based off of that these 5 finalists are going to be able to pitch to the audience, and the judges are able to now select based on those that have pitched then. Moving on from that, I've been able to explain on the criteria itself. I've been able to explain on what the challenge is about. I've been able to explain the timeline to say that if you go through the application phase, you go through the due diligence if you are selected. And then once you go through the due diligence, there'll be another review. And then those that will be selected will go through the semi-finalist stage. And then in the semi-finalist stage, at the end as well, there'll be another evaluation. And then there'll be a selection of the final finalists. And these final finalists will go through also coaching and other aspects. And then from there, they will be able to now pitch finally for this grant money. From here, I think the most important aspect that I was told by my colleague is that there were some that weren't able to access the web application. So right now, the next phase is just to do the web application live demo. For us to just go through how you can access it, and then from there, ensure that we go to that application and be able to see where others don't understand, others didn't understand maybe the application, because there are some to say that who qualifies as an early stage, who qualifies as a growth stage. So we'll be able to go through that and for all of you to gain clarity from that. So if you go on MMAB's webpage on Facebook, you'll be able to see that on those posters, there's a link or a QR code that takes you to this specific website, which is http ayutemhubmw.com. So for those that have access to this link, please ensure that you select that. So once you do that, you will see that it takes you to this specific page, right? Web page, where now you can be able to access any information, right, about what AYUTE is. It's able to explain to you what AYUTE challenge is about, and also where to apply. So you see the apply here. But also, if you want to know more about AYUTE, we have also added specific links below so that you can understand more about the challenge and what it's looking for. But also below there, there's contact information. There's contact information or addresses for MHub. That's our cell phone or contact number. You can be able to contact us for any challenges, but also via email, info@mhubmw.com. And then there's also the email for HEFA. If you have any inquiries from there, you can be able to go there as well. Then moving on from that, you can be able to now access the application, right? Once you do that, you see that it will give you a lot of basic information, right? Contact information. And there you also see that it's asking you specific questions, right? Maybe for some of you, you will be asking to say that if I'm not registered, am I qualified? So if you see there, it's put there to say, is your enterprise registered? Yes, or no, or is it in the process? So for some aspects to say that if you are not registered, that might be qualified as an institution that is not really at growth stage, and etc. But all this is doing is to ensure that we evaluate specifically in terms of your capacity as an institution or as agripreneurs and etc. And then years of operation, are you below 3 years? Are you above 3 years? And one thing you should note is when you go and select which region you're in, whether you're in the southern region, central and etc., it is essential for you to add in where exactly you are. It will be able to bring that option. The reason being is if you are selected for the due diligence process, right, we can be able to map out and understand where you are as a business. Are you in Zomba? Where you are in Balaga, and etc. It'll be easier for the team to be able to map out and be able to visit you. What part of a value chain you are in, right? If you're seeing that you do not have any of these here as something that you do, then other is also an option. And you can be able to add in exactly what you do. And also stage of innovation. Is it at idea, track 1? Is it at track 2, scale up? So as we said, we're looking at two sides, right? The early stage and the growth stage. For the early stage, which means we're looking at an idea or a prototype. Is you as an SME, the product that you have, is it an idea, but you haven't really tested it on the market? Or is it a prototype where, yes, you've come up with maybe one or two products and you have seen that it's viable and it works. That is also well and good. Then there's track 2, where you're scaling up to say that you have done the idea, you have done the prototype stage. Now, all you want is to scale that, maybe production of that idea and be able to now penetrate your market. And then does your product infringe any IPs or claims? So I think one of the aspects that was discussed is to say, is your idea from something that you as an innovator has come up with, or it's something that another innovator came up with, maybe in Europe, maybe it's in America. It is your duty to research to say, is it something that it has its own maybe IP claims and etc. Why? Why saying this is to say that I think as HEFA wouldn't want to invest in something that maybe if it scales up, there will be now claims from maybe some other company to say that this is our product and etc. So these are things that you need to be considering as you apply. Who's your targets? Describe your proposed solutions, and what evidence do you have on the functionality? What are the gaps, and etc. So ensure that all these questions are answered. Does your enterprise have any current revenue streams? What are the potential revenue streams for this enterprise? So as you see, we're looking for both idea and growth stage. So I'm sure if you had idea, does your enterprise have any current revenue streams? Maybe might not be a case, right? But at the same time, you might be an enterprise that is doing some other aspects of your business, but also trying to bring out this specific idea. So this is where this comes in. And then on the contact information, to ensure that you are able to share the contact person of the person that will be able to go and meet for the due diligence process. Because as we are selecting, we'll be selecting based on the contact name. And we'll be able to also call or contact that specific person to be able to come and visit for the due diligence process. And then also the role of the enterprise and etc. But also provide a link to a 2-minute video of demonstrating how your innovation works below, right? You can provide something or a link in terms of what your innovation is about. And then also previous programs participated and etc. And then you submit. So it's pretty much not really a lengthy application process. I think there's been much longer ones, but this one is straightforward. I think you'll be able to finish applying this in the space of maybe 30 minutes if you put it on the side and be able to do that. However, this link is where you can access this and just go directly to apply. It will help you. That will pop out and you'll be able to apply for the challenge. But I think at this stage, I'll now go back to the presentation and now leave for the audience to ask any questions. However, as I said, I think we have the HEFA colleagues here. For those that can be able to speak or anything, maybe there's something I've overlooked, they can also be able to come in and explain anything further for clarity. Otherwise, I think I'll leave this specific section or time for questions so that we can discuss on any challenges that you have, anything that you need clarity on the challenge and etc. I think I'll let my colleagues come in if there's any questions online so that we can be able to respond to them. Thank you. Okay. So there's a question on if you are submitted, are you able to edit it? No, it's a one-time thing. If you have applied and submitted, we won't allow you to edit. So my advice is that since you can see that when you specifically select the application feature, it brings you almost all those questions. You'll be able to apply it, answer those questions on the side, and then from there, you can be able to now answer them when you're ready and then submit. And then I think there's been someone that is asking in terms of that they're okay, having. So there's a question on if all right. So in terms of the error, I would say that in terms of the application link, it might be two ways. So I suggest that the person that is having the error to directly share the screenshot of what it's saying to our mhub info at mhubmw.com. That way, I think the tech guys should be able to help. However, just to highlight that the application form itself has a bit of a timer to say that if you are there applying at such specific point, it times out. So it might be giving you that error. However, if that is not the case, I implore you to share that specific aspect to our info with the screenshot. That way our tech team should be able to resolve this. If not, if you can even share it there, they can be able to now take it up and ensure that everything is okay. Because as others have already applied as of now. So I can say my suggestion is because it has a timer, it has a timeout. Maybe as you're submitting, maybe you are there applying for specific minutes of time, maybe it was failing for you to submit. Thank you. And then I think someone else has asked in terms of how many years is it required. You see there, as we said, we have two stages, early stage and growth stage. And even in the application form, you see that we've added to 0 to 3 years and then 3 years above. So those are the demarcations that we've put. So for those that are at early stage are within 0 to 3 years. Those that are at growth stage are from 3 years above. I hope that's clear. Kitio. And then there's another question from Funio. I've just joined. Does it mean that everyone who wants to join must have an idea of which at the end you have to produce something? Let's say juice, or those that who wants to maybe to invest in farming, let's say tobacco can also apply. So just to respond to this, but I can also let the team from HEFAS to also come in if need be. But I can say mostly we're looking for agricultural technology solutions, right? So we're looking for solutions or agri-tech solutions that will be able to impact farmers, right? Farmers that work, for instance, farmers that work with HEFA and etc. So this challenge is looking at such solutions. So for this instance where we're talking about tobacco farming, you directly, I think that does not count as that as an agriculture or agro-tech solution. But we're looking to say that the farmers, the smallholder farmers that are out there, what type of solutions can you offer to them to increase their productivity, to increase their income, and etc. And then this challenge, if you go through and to being a finalist, you'll be able to be invested in and scale up that specific solution that you have. That's for me, but I'll let my colleagues here from HEFA. I'm seeing Gladys, I'm seeing Kondwani. If any of you are able to speak on this further, please do as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think you have answered that well, that we're looking for agri-tech solutions. So not necessarily funding for production, but technological solutions that address the bottlenecks or enhance efficiency in the different agricultural value chains. This could be something like, for instance, mechanization equipment, digital technologies, even agricultural technologies like improved inputs. Those are the kind of solutions that we're looking for. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that, Elizabeth. I think we have another question. The question is, now someone has been operating for his unregistered business for maybe 5 years, then the business gets registered in this year. How do you rate that? A 0 to 3 years or somewhere else? So for that, usually as us as well, on this part, we categorize that as saying that because at that time you are registered, which means if you're not registered, you don't even maybe have a TPIN, you're not tax compliant, which means operational basis, that is your first year of business. But I would say that I'll highlight that maybe you as an experience as a business, you've been operating in terms of 5 years. But you, in terms of an entity that is registered and you're operational, you're tax compliant, then that is your first year if you are registering this year. Then the next question is, hello, I had a question on who should apply. If one happens to have a startup in an industry like marketing and advertising and want to launch something in agri-tech, would that be something to be allowed? I think in our criteria, we've spoken to say that we're looking for young agripreneurs, we're looking for a group, we're looking for organizations who have agri-tech solutions that they want to scale and etc. So I think we haven't really emphasized on which industry you are in. However, the most aspect is that we're looking for young entrepreneurs, whether they're group, even organizations, that are trying to scale up agri-tech solutions for farmers, right? Smallholder farmers. So I'd say that we haven't really categorized to say that you are all supposed to be in that specific sector, but we are trying to ensure that the organizations that are coming in or SMEs should be SMEs that are trying to bring these solutions within the agri-tech space. So I don't think we've limited it to just that sphere. However, I think maybe I can bring in Elizabeth to come in for more clarity.
Thank you, Aze. Just to add on the first question, I think as much as we're looking at the years of operation, we're also looking at the maturity of the solution. So considering that, is your solution at idea stage, at conceptualization stage, or are you at a minimum viable product stage where you have a product that is ready for market or has already been in the market, is ready for scale? So we will also be assessing that to determine the stage or the category for the innovation. On the second question, I think that as long as your digital marketing solution is addressing agricultural value chains, either improving efficiency, addressing some bottlenecks in an agricultural value chain, then it is eligible. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Elizabeth, for that. So I hope that clarified in terms of you being unregistered and operational, and also being registered and operational. I think now we only have about 10 minutes or about 8 minutes for this to end. And I'm seeing that there's no other questions that are coming in. I would say that for now, thank you for joining this info session. If you have, well, I think there's one final question that has come in. Sorry. I'll just read it. Is it possible to apply if you are to do research study, let's say soil mapping and testing to come up with a specific best organic fertilizer application to improve productivity? Again and again, if you are to promote local innovations where water will be transported through bamboo from a solar powered source, idea stage. For this one, I think I'll start with Elizabeth maybe to come in, and then maybe I'll follow. So just to repeat the question, is it possible to apply if you are able to do research study, let's say soil mapping, testing to come up with a specific best organic fertilizer application to improve productivity? And again, what if you are to promote local innovations where water will be transported through bamboo from a powered source? And then he puts in bracket idea stage.
It sounds to me like as the question has been structured, that this is in the idea stage. So is this just a research study? If it's just for research, purely for research purposes, then no. But if it is to develop the idea to a minimum viable product, then that is eligible. Thank you.
All right. I think at this juncture, I think that was a comprehensive feedback to you, David, in terms of the response. For another one from Praise, should the social media page to be active or as long as you have one? So the aspect of us asking that is not only to understand what your innovation is about and etc. It's not just about you having a social media page. Just to answer on that. However, I think, as I said, this was just a 1 hour session. If you are joining us just now, you can be able to find this recording here online and be able to go through it. We've been able to answer questions and etc. In terms of the application link, as of now, the tech team has told me that it's working. However, if you have any specific inquiries that you want, or you have challenges with this site, you can always go on our page. There's our phone number there. You can be able to call us, but also you send us via email, info@mhubmw.com. But also on the web page where you'll be applying, below there's also another contact information from HAFA if maybe you want to understand more on specific aspects. Otherwise, thank you all for joining this information session. We're wishing you all the best as you're applying for this specific challenge, as the deadline is on the 9th of May 2025. Otherwise, thank you all. Have a good afternoon.